Once upon a time, four best friends lived in a small town: Moon Ghost Cat, the leader, Sparkle Bunny, Lucky Dog, and Dino Dinosaur. One Halloween, they decided to skip school and go on an adventure. They had heard stories about a scary forest on the edge of town. It was said that there was a big old oak tree in the middle of the forest, with a secret door that led to other worlds. The friends had always wanted to explore the forest and find out what was behind the door. So, on Halloween, while everyone else was getting ready to celebrate, the four friends snuck out of school and headed for the forest. They walked through the town, which was decorated with pumpkins and lights, until they reached the edge of the forest. Moon Ghost, Sparkle, Lucky, and Dino looked at the dark trees with excitement and curiosity. Somewhere in the forest there was a clearing with an oak tree and a secret door. Friends took a deep breath, gathered their courage, and stepped into the forest, ready for whatever adventures awaited them. They walked through the forest until they came to the huge oak tree. In the trunk of the tree was a mysterious door. The friends looked at each other, and Moon Ghost, as the leader, spoke first. "Well, friends, here we are. Behind this door is our adventure. Are you ready?" Sparkle shifted nervously from paw to paw. "I'm a little scared. What if there's something dangerous behind the door?" Dino, who was always curious, said, "But that's why we're here, to find out what's behind the door." Lucky, who was always supportive, added, "I agree with Dino. We've come this far. Are we really going to turn back now?" Moon Ghost looked at the door thoughtfully. "Sparkle, I understand that you're scared, but we're in this together. Whatever's behind the door, we can handle it as long as we're together." Sparkle nodded, feeling a little better. "You're right, Moon Ghost. Together, we can do anything." Dino, who was getting impatient, asked, "So, are we going in?" Lucky wagged its tail excitedly. "Of course we're going in. Let's go." Moon Ghost, who was proud of his team, walked up to the door and put his paw on the handle. "Let's do it. Let's make this Halloween the most unforgettable one ever." He turned the handle, and the mysterious door slowly opened, inviting the friends into a world of mystery and adventure. As soon as the friends opened the mysterious door, they stepped into a dark and spooky forest. The trees were tall and twisted, with black trunks and branches that looked like they were trying to grab them. A thick fog covered the ground, making it hard to see where they were going. The air was filled with weird noises, whispers that sounded like they were coming from nowhere, howls that sounded like they were from another world, and creepy grinding sounds. From somewhere far away, they heard a howl that they had never heard before. Every time they heard a noise, they jumped and looked around, scared of what they might see. The forest was like a ghost story come to life. It was dark, spooky, and full of strange noises. The friends were scared, but they kept walking, determined to see what was on the other side. On the trees, there were rotten fruits and berries hanging from the branches. They smelled sweet but also yucky at the same time. And at the bottom of the trees, there were giant mushrooms with bright, poisonous-looking tops. The mushrooms glowed in the dark, like a warning. Suddenly, friends saw something that made them gasp. In the trees, there were cages with animal skeletons inside. The wind blew the cages back and forth. On the ground, there were the remains of animals that had died and started to rot. It was like a graveyard for animals. But the scariest thing was that the friends felt like they were being watched. They could feel eyes staring at them from the shadows of the trees. It was as if the forest itself was watching them, waiting to pounce. The friends huddled together, scared but determined to stick together. They knew that they had to overcome all the scary things in the forest if they wanted to get out alive. They were about to start the scariest and most exciting adventure of their lives. In the middle of a scary forest there was an evil dwarf named Grumpy. He was tiny and strong, with lots of hair all over his body. It was like a messy nest with leaves, twigs, and even little animal bones in it. But the scariest part of Grumpy was his big, long beard. It was so thick, It looked like a home for forest animals. It was so dirty and dark, it almost looked black. And there was a creepy glow in it, like something bad was hiding inside. Grumpy's beard wasn't just for show. It moved and squirmed, like something was living inside it. Sometimes you could hear weird noises coming from it, like a snake hissing or a bear growling. It made everyone's blood run cold. With his sharp teeth and green eyes that glowed like poison, Grumpy's huge beard made him look extra scary. Friends needed to find a way to beat Grumpy and make the forest safe again. Grumpy looked at them with his mean green eyes. His beard moved like it was alive. He spoke in a scratchy voice, "Listen to me, little animals. I don't know for what purpose you came to my forest, but you have no longer found your way home. Choose, to serve me in the forest forever or break the curse from the forest and find the way home. Well, I can help you break the curse, but I want something in return." The animals looked at each other, wondering what the evil dwarf wanted. He went on, "Deep in the lake in the middle of the forest, there's a beautiful mermaid. She's so pretty, she makes the sun and moon look dull. And her voice is like magic. I want you to bring her to me, but be careful. The mermaid is protected by goblins and mermen who are like the old spirits of the forest and the water. They won't just let you take her." Grumpy leaned back in his chair and smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "If you bring me the mermaid, I'll help you to go home. But if you don't, well, you'll stay in my forest forever. That's my deal. Do you agree?" Friends looked at each other again and knew they had no choice. They had to take the risk and do what Grumpy said if they wanted to go home. But could they really face all the dangers and bring the mermaid to the evil ruler of the forest? They didn't know yet, but they decided to be brave and accept Grumpy's challenge. They knew it would be dangerous, but they had to try. Moon Ghost, who was the strongest and bravest of them all, stepped forward and said, "We agree to your condition, dwarf. We'll go to the lake and bring you the mermaid. But you must promise to keep your word and help us break the curse and get home if we do what you say." Grumpy smiled and nodded. "I keep my word, beast. If you bring me the mermaid, I will help you. Now go, and may the spirits of the forest keep you safe." The animals left Grumpy's cave and started walking. They walked through thick bushes, jumped over streams, and climbed rocks. Finally, they reached the lake Grumpy had told them about. The water in the lake was clear and still. The animals carefully walked up to the shore, looking out for goblins and mermen. Suddenly, the water rippled, and a beautiful girl with long golden hair and bright blue eyes appeared from the water. It was a mermaid. She looked at them and smiled. "I know why you're here," she said in a sweet voice. "The evil dwarf Grumpy sent you to take me away. But I can't go with you. My home is here, in the lake, with the mermen and goblins." The animals were amazed by how beautiful and kind the mermaid was. They didn't want to take her away against her will. Moon Ghost stepped forward and said, "Beautiful mermaid, we don't want to hurt you. We're only here because we need to break the curse on the forest so we can go home to our families. And only Dwarf Grumpy can help us do that. But we won't take you away against your will. Please help us find another way to break the curse." The mermaid thought for a moment and then said, "There is one way. Deep in the forest, there is an old tree with golden leaves. If you can bring me one leaf from that tree, the curse will be lifted. But the path to the tree is guarded by dangerous creatures. You'll need to be brave and clever to reach it." The animals thanked the mermaid and set off to find the ancient tree. They had to face many challenges, but now they had hope. Hope that they could break the curse on the forest and return home without hurting the innocent mermaid. And that hope led them forward, through the dark forest, towards new adventures. After the animals left the lake, their path became even more dangerous. They knew that reaching the tree with the golden leaves would not be easy. After all, he was guarded by the strong creatures that the Sea Princess spoke about. But the desire to return home and save the forest from evil magic gave them the strength to move forward.